Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Joshua Houston. I'm General Counsel and Director of Government Affairs for Texas Impact. Scott, if somebody could, I'm going to pass out this handout, which we will make available online as well, PDF. We will have it posted. It's just talking points on what I'm about to cover. Religious liberty can be a little bit of a heavy topic, and this helps you be able to message it when you go talk to legislators about it and actually learning about it. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting week to be having this topic. I don't think James Madison would have thought that the last week was a particularly good week for religious liberty in this nation. Here at the state level, we had a forum on Thursday last week held at the Capitol, and its purpose was meant to stir up suspicion and toward our Muslim neighbors. We had a legislator that participated in this forum send out a poll to most of the mosques in the state inquiring about their religious beliefs and making it appear that this poll was somehow in connection with their upcoming lobby day. Tomorrow is that lobby day. Texas Muslim Capital Day is the 8th time they've done it. Of course, for biennials for the last 16 years, this has been an event, not a new thing that the Muslim community is doing in Texas. It's not anything particular special about the lobby day. It's just like Methodist ladies do, Lutherans do, the Jewish community has a lobby day, doctors, lawyers, teachers, realtors. There's hundreds of lobby days, and there's nothing special about this one that's unique to it, apart from any other, except for the fact that they are of the Muslim faith, and therefore we are expecting protesters. The Muslim community has told us that they would very much appreciate if you are here or you can make it to Austin. They would very much appreciate you standing with them on the south steps of the Capitol at 10 a.m. This is a show of support. And if you can't make it to Austin tomorrow, you can certainly call your legislator. A very important message to your legislator is just, hey, we know this thing's going on tomorrow, and we very much want you to be nice to them. But there's nothing special about this lobby day except for the fact that they're Muslim, and we stand with them as people of faith, whatever your faith tradition is. We've seen the news at the federal level. President Trump has issued several executive orders related to immigration over the past week. One in particular concerns us with regard to religious liberty, and that's the one pertaining to refugees. This is the so-called Muslim ban you may have heard about in the press. Effectively, it is. There are certain countries for which refugees are prohibited, but then it allows special exemptions for religious minorities. In other words, our government will be prioritizing and preferencing vulnerable Christians from those who are also equally vulnerable who happen to be Muslim in those countries. Here's the legal problem with this. What is a Christian? How will the federal government define what a Christian is? In order to make that determination, our government will have to be deciding what religious doctrines make a Christian a Christian. And this is the exact issue that provoked James Madison to write his memorial and remonstrance so many years ago. If government has the power to decide what a Christian is, then it has the power to decide what a Christian is not. They can say that Protestants are and Catholics are not. They can say that Baptists are Christian and Methodists are not. Therefore, the First Amendment, the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment, removes from government the authority over doctrine and belief. It demands total neutrality from our government. So we have put together a long time ago, about a year ago, let me back up and say it's still very early in the legislative session, but we're already starting to see bills filed that have some serious implications for religious liberty, the religious liberty that James Madison would have intended. In the coming weeks, you can expect to see action alerts about them if and when those bills begin to move. Right now is kind of the time for studying up on this stuff. We've still got a couple weeks to kind of study up on what it is. To help you do that, we have written this publication, which you can find on our website. It looks like this for those of you online. It's called Equal Liberty. We will have it up. It's already on the website, but we'll have it up in connection with this event in particular on our weekly witness page. This has the history and jurisprudence of our nation's religion clauses in the First Amendment. This is the rationale behind it that will help you study up on. Sick, some particular publications we've done, but it will help you go over that history and jurisprudence. Today, however, I kind of want to give you a preview of what you can expect for the 85th legislative session, an overview of our three principles that you can find in the publication, that we will apply to any of the diverse ways religious liberty can arise concerning various pieces of legislation. Our very first principle is that government must not preference or disadvantage one faith relative to another, and that includes those of no faith at all. This is what we often refer to as the separation of church and state. Never let anyone tell you that the separation of church and state either one, does not exist, or two, is hostile to religion. It is religious people that fought for the separation of church and state. Baptists and Presbyterians were very active in electing Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, and they urged them to push forward the separation of church and state. They were religious minorities. Separation of church and state protects religious minorities from religious majorities in our democracy. It comes from the Establishment Clause of our Constitution, of our First Amendment of our Constitution. It means the government is neutral on matters of religion. It means that all religion is equal before the law. It means that no one gets special treatment and no one gets discriminated against based on faith. It has a very important corollary that taxpayers of one faith cannot be forced to subsidize the propagation of another faith. And this may be the biggest fight we have next session. So this is about the privatization of our public school system. So let me make sure everybody knows what a voucher is. We're talking about school vouchers. You are taxed to pay for the public education system in the state. But under a voucher scheme or an education savings account, as they are calling it, they take your tax dollars and then give it to another person. And that person can then religiously educate their child in their faith with your money. That's money of yours that's not going to your church to propagate your own faith. Now, we think it is unconstitutional under the Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 7, which prohibits this. And I want to make it real clear, we're not anti-private school. Quite the contrary, it's your right to educate your kids religiously in your faith, but not with other people's taxpayer money. So Seventh-day Adventists, for instance, they have a very big, extensive private school system. They have historically been opposed to school vouchers, even though they would benefit. And the reason is they are worried about the government strings that come attached with taxpayer money. To give you an example of how this blending of taxpayer money with the private school system both threatens the religious liberty of private schools and also your religious liberty not to fund the faith that's not your own. There are other issues that will arise under this principle. Foster care, we want to make sure that so no proselytizing of taxpayer money is an important principle. We want to make sure with foster care bills that we don't allow faith-based providers to teach religion if they receive taxpayer money. In state contracting, you're going to see this come up in many different areas with the faith and community-based initiative. We want to make sure that there's no proselytizing occurring with taxpayer money, that what's happening with taxpayer money is truly secular. And we want to make sure there's no discrimination. So you'll see various religious arbitration bills. They're going to be called Sharia law bills. They're obviously discriminated against one faith. We're worried about bills that involve a blacklist, deeming certain groups foreign terrorist organizations. There's a blacklist bill that we may be hearing about in the future. We'll see if it moves. There are bills where the state won't contract with anybody who's divested from Israel. Now, we have no position on divestment. We have a very diverse membership. There are many different faiths who have divested. There are many different faith groups represented that have not divested. We have no position on that. What we have a position on is that when the state goes to contract with somebody, they're not inquiring about the religious beliefs of those faith-based groups. Our second principle, government must not force any person to act against their conscience unless there is a state interest that compels it. Let me break this down a little bit. Our laws in this nation and this state regulate conduct. They do not regulate belief. We never regulate belief. We're not a thought police. Limited government means that freedom of belief is absolute. That's why it's so inappropriate that the letter was sent to all the mosques inquiring about their religious beliefs. It violates the principle of limited government. Our laws regulate conduct only if the state has a compelling state interest and then uses the least restrictive means. So, for instance, under our current law, there was the Yearning for Zion Ranch out in El Dorado, and the Warren Jeffs sect of the fundamentalist Mormon fringe group of Mormonism. One of their defenses to prosecution for statutory rape was the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. The state didn't buy it. No, the state says no, we have a compelling interest in protecting the health and safety of children. Another example of a private school, somebody who was from a private school, but they didn't want to bring the building up to health and safety codes. That was rejected as well, as the state has a compelling interest in protecting the health and safety of children. Another example of a Native American boy who once wanted to wear ceremonial long hair to school and violated the school's dress code. Well, the school dress code is an important interest, but it's not a compelling state interest. And so they allowed the Native American boy to wear long hair. He gave him attention. The law has worked very well. There's people who wanted to revive it. It's been on the books since 1999. It was worked out. It was written very well as needed to revive it. Other issues on the horizon that we may have some issues with, guns in churches. Our membership is not of one mind on this issue either. So our position is we want to maintain flexibility. The thing we all agree on is that we want flexibility for local congregations to be able to make those decisions whether to allow guns or not for themselves. It's their business. The religious liberty connections with our Quakers, for instance. Quakers are a peace church. So we would restrict their ability to prohibit guns. It would be a violation of their religion. There's a couple of bills already that would take away the right of churches to prohibit guns. There's other bills that would make churches civilly liable. If they prohibited guns and something bad happens, we'll be watching those and let you know if they move. We will be opposing them, obviously. We're worried about discriminatory stuff against Muslims or other immigrants. So, for instance, a lot of faith-based groups are very heavily invested in refugee resettlement. Most of the refugee resettlement agencies have a connection with a faith-based denomination of some kind. We want to make sure that laws don't, we are worried about laws being aimed at them, even though the state has pulled out of that program. We're worried about laws that would overly regulate them just to make them and their ministry harder to do. On the immigration front, we also have ministries that help immigrants. In the past, there have been bills that would have made it illegal for you to aid and abet an illegal alien. There have been bills that would make you report to ICE if you had any way encountered somebody who was undocumented. So there have been bad bills like that that have been removed, but we're worried about that kind of idea coming back. We'll obviously be opposing them and we'll let you know if it moves. Sometimes bills are just stupidly written. So there was one that would have made a pastor driving a church van with undocumented people in it, his parishioners, guilty of human smuggling. We got that amended. That was not their intent, thankfully. But it was just written too broadly, and we worked to minimize it, so pay attention to issues like that. And we will make you aware if it moves. We're watching any bill that would affect your freedom to be the Good Samaritan. Our third principle is that government must not permit adherents of one faith to harm and non-adherents of that faith as an expression of the faith. So in other words, this is where we're likely to get into a lot of unpleasant disagreement with some of our more fundamentalist brothers and sisters. Our disagreement has to do with how we define liberty. And so whenever you hear the term liberty, this is the question you should kind of ask yourself. Does this person, when this person says liberty, mean might makes right? In other words, I can do what I want so long as I'm strong enough or have enough money? Or by liberty, does somebody mean that a right, that my freedom to swing my arms wildly ends where your nose begins? We mean the latter, that liberty is something that we all share equally, which means I can swing my arms wildly like a buffoon if I want, so long as I don't punch you in the nose in doing so. That is our definition of liberty. It's the equal liberty our founders have intended. The other liberty is a kind of scary social Darwinist vision where only the strongest survive and the richest prevail. That's a very important question to ask yourself when somebody says liberty, what do they mean? There's a corollary that I want to bring up, that religion is never a license to discriminate against somebody else. Whether or not you agree with gay Christians or not, that is not our concern. Our concern is that we are all equal before the law and that no one gets special rights. So whether or not you agree with LGBT people or not, we say the government has no authority to say that they are not also Christian. This is a discussion for us to have as a faith community. It is not a discussion the government belongs in. So the issues that are likely to come up, government employees. You remember the Kim Davis issue from Kentucky? We think there's a bill that's been filed on this issue already to allow a clerk not to give a marriage license to somebody. So let's kind of think about this without the emotional LGBT issue. Let's put in a different set of facts and think about what the principles say. Would we let a Baptist who worked for the Texas Alcohol and Beverage Commission deny a liquor license because he or she had an objection to alcohol? Of course we wouldn't. We wouldn't do that. That would infringe upon the religious liberty of the liquor license applicant who might be Lutheran and has no problem with it. But on this issue, where I'm most concerned is on the issue of foster care. There has been a bill that purports to protect faith-based providers in the foster care and adoption system from government discriminating against them. Now, on the surface, that's something we would oppose, but it's messaged very much as scare tactics, where faith-based entities could get kicked out of programs because of their view on LGBT issues. So first of all, this is Texas, so that's unlikely to happen, but second, on principle, we wouldn't want that to happen either. But here's the problem with the bill, and they won't talk about this. It's all the other stuff that's buried in this 6-page bill. All sorts of legal protections for faith-based providers that could end up harming children in their care. So some of you may remember a thing called roll-off homes. There used to be in the 1970s and into the 80s and even in the 90s, a thing called the People's Baptist Church in the Corpus Christi. The reverend's name was Lester Roloff. He was Baptist, but he was pretty fringe. All the Baptist associations pretty much distanced themselves from him. He had a bunch of children's homes that were at the time in 1973 unlicensed. He took the verse, "Spare the rod, spoil the child," literally. He beat kids black and blue, chained them to beds, and used solitary confinement until they accepted Jesus. It took 3 decades of litigation to finally shut them down. There's already too much abuse in the foster care system, and we do not want to have another roll-off homes, and that is our position going into this session on that particular bill. We want to work with the bill author. We want to work with our more conservative Christian friends who are worried. We want to make sure that it doesn't overreach and cause real harm to children. So let's talk real quickly about your visits, your legislative visits. Right now, I don't want you wasting effort on things that are not going to move. It's still very early in session. Bill filing deadline ends March 10th, and then we'll kind of know the world will possible. Committees are just barely getting started in the Senate. They'll get started more towards the end of February. The House is probably not going to appoint committees until the middle of February. It's traditionally when they do. So it's after kind of the middle of February, after Valentine's Day, and stuff kind of gets moving and gets rocking. So for right now, we don't want you wasting time on things that we don't know are going to move yet. We're still watching those things that will make you aware. We want to make you aware so you're paying attention. We want to make you aware so you can think about these issues because we're just looking at some kind of ahead of time. But however, tomorrow is Muslim Capital Day. And so if there were to do, and there is a to do, we want you to come to Austin. The Muslim community has again informed us that they would very much appreciate you standing with them on the South Steps. We do anticipate protesters. We would urge you not to interact with them. That right now, the Muslim community is just exercising their right to petition their government. The less we react, the more the story works in our favor. So any reaction you have, if you come, could end up hurting your Muslim friends. So make sure that you stand there with them, in solidarity with them, but don't interact with the people who are going to yell very vile things. Last session, they yelled, we were there at it, and it took us off guard a little bit. They yelled some very, very vile things that I won't repeat essentially. If you cannot make it to Austin, it would still be very beneficial if you could call your legislators and just request that they be super nice to them tomorrow. It's going to be kind of a rough day. We expect the majority of the Muslim community to be children here on a Civics Day, just like any other school group that comes very routinely during session. We want to make sure that legislators are aware and hear from people in their districts that you are standing with them in solidarity in affirming their First Amendment rights to freedom of religion and the right to petition their government and peace. I'd like to conclude with the words of St. Augustine. I think they're very fitting. It is as true today as it was in the Roman Empire in the 5th century, which was just as religiously diverse as we are today in our pluralistic nation. In essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. But in all things, love. Thank you.
We'll keep Josh up for just a second. I'm not seeing any questions thus far on either Facebook Live or by webinar. So are there any questions here in-house for Josh?
I have one question on my break drive about churches that decide to not have guns inside of their building, or there a bill going forward that they will be civilly responsible if someone should come into church and people are not armed to defend themselves? Is that the...
Yeah, that's right. So let me repeat the question for everybody on camera. The question was about what I said about churches that decide to prohibit guns. Is there really a bill that would make them civilly liable in the court if they prohibited weapons and God forbid something horrible happened? The answer is yes. We'll be watching that one very closely. We're going to visit with that bill author. Right now, under current law, you are not civilly liable for unforeseeable criminal acts of a third party. And that's how the current law works. It's called premises liability, if you're curious. This would reverse that and create a cause of action where if something horrible happened, God forbid, and you had a gun sign posted or otherwise prohibited weapons in your premises, you'd be civilly liable and you would be sued.
Curiosity, if the foster family regularly goes to church and they ignore, they take in a foster child, would there be any problems with that foster child regularly going to church with them? Or would they be excluding that?
So we're talking about a faith-based provider of foster care in a dorm.
Right. And their normal habit even before foster care, were they and the family go to church?
I'm not familiar enough with the free exercise rights of the child to be able to answer that question. That's an interesting question that I don't know the answer to, and I'm looking that up. So we go forward in the session of foster care bills. That's an answer we need to know what to do.